Alright, listen up. I got a very fun build for you guys today. And all of this happened because we were testing out the new slam changes. For those who don't know, slam attacks were changed. Now they scale with pretty much everything that a melee scales with, except, unfortunately, range. So yeah, your crits, your elements, your combo multiplier, all of that applies to slam damage. So with that in mind, I decided to bring out an old favorite weapon of mine, the Stompies. For those who do not know much about this weapon, the Sampotes, it's all about doing heavy slams. And when you perform these heavy slams, you release these eruptions from the ground that cascade and damage every single enemy in sight. So for example, that's what it does. Alright, as you can see, they're still alive. That didn't do much damage. And I did do a synergy a while back with Saren, because her Toxic Clash applies to all of those eruptions. And all of those eruptions count as a melee strike and slam damage. And I did try on many occasions to have melee influence work with Sampotes, but unfortunately, melee influence only triggers on the direct hits on the Sampotes and not the eruptions. However, with the recent update, came with it Valence Formation, Lavos' new augment that applies an elemental infusion with guaranteed procs on every single hit. Hey Nightmare, what does that mean? Well, let me show you. As you can see on the bottom right, I just activated the electric buff. And when you cast an ability, I get an electric damage buff. This buff is now infused on my weapons and is a guaranteed proc with every hit I do with my weapons. I also activated Nourish. Let's see how this works. Yeah, they're all dead. Yeah, and I was able to trigger melee influence without directly hitting those enemies. Let's see that again. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh yeah, that's right. This is right now one of the most broken setups for melee. And prior to this, Sampotes always had an issue when it came to elevation. So if enemies were above these stairs and you were down here, unfortunately the eruptions could not climb the stairs.
Stairs? No!
So there was a method around that, and that was to subsume breach search, because the enemies hit from down here would trigger the search spark and reach enemies above. However, with melee influence, it's a 20-meter radius, and that is able to trigger with these eruptions. So now we fixed two things wrong with this build. We're able to trigger influence on the eruptions, and we solved the elevation issue. So let's go to Steel Path and show you how this works. Alright, here we are in Steel Path. I'm only going to be using my melee, nothing else. Guns? Psh, imagine needing guns. We don't even need the dexterity arcanes for our combo duration. I mean, unless you want to build up combo for one big Giga Slam, you can. But with this setup, all that cross-chaining, cascading damage and force procs is going to be enough to wipe out everything. 2 Void Slings, just for the strength, to buff our Nourish. We activate our electric buff and cast an ability. Oh my goodness. Look at that, millions of damage. Also, if you didn't know, you don't necessarily have to jump all the way up into the air to do a slam attack. Just make sure you're off the ground, face downwards, and do your heavy slam. Look at that, giga damage. Hell yeah. Look at this crazy damage. Oof, beautiful. See that? Elevation isn't an issue. Look how it reached all the way up here. Thanks to the cascading effect with those force procs with melee influence. Ooh, what's happening over there? Alright, all these guys surrounding me. What will I ever do? Oof. See how it hit them all the way up there, up the stairs? Thanks to melee influence. No longer an issue with elevation. Oh yeah. Let's get some more. Ooh, look at all these effects. Influence. The chaining is so damn good. All right, here comes the Acolyte. Guys, please do not blink. Do not blink, okay? Try very hard not to blink. I said don't blink. Did you blink? I bet some of you blinked. Damage! Or even giga damage. Alright, Thrax. Holy crap. Did I kill the other Thrax? Oh, I did. Alright, here we are back in the Orbiter to show you how the build works. And yes, I have 2 Amber Shards here to give me casting speed because casting speed is super important. And my Helminth ability is Nourish. As you know, Nourish is a viral elemental damage multiplier that is applied onto your weapons. Think of this as an elemental damage mod. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a force proc like Lavos' augment, but it gives you that viral elemental damage and of course the viral poo-poo. The energy multiplier does not work on Lavos. We're just here to use it for its elemental buff. That's it. And now, taking a look at the build. Starting off with the arcanes. And the first one is Arcane Fury. This will give us melee base damage when we crit. Very, very powerful. And the last one is Arcane Reaper, because every single eruption counts as a melee hit, and it heals us when we kill enemies with those eruptions. In the aura, I'm going to run Ready Steel. This will give me a 2x combo multiplier on my weapon. This is initial combo, so even if you heavy attack and consume this 2x combo, it will return back to 2x. Very useful. And since we're dealing with slam attacks, let's put in the Nira mods. And luckily, one of them happens to be an Exilus mod. So we put that there, and Nira's Hatred. Both of these will give me slam attack damage as their set bonus. Unfortunately, the third one is on a whip. Yeah, so nice one. Otherwise, the main ability of this mod doesn't matter, but this one's actually pretty useful because it gives us health and ability duration. And duration is going to be so beneficial for this build because it buffs the duration of Valence Formation. Speaking of Valence Formation, boom! Lavos' Valence Formation augment. The best part about this, you don't really need Swift Bite for this build. I'll be using Precision Intensify just to buff Nourish because it's our 4th ability. Otherwise, none of his other abilities will benefit from the additional strength. Duration with Primed Continuity, Nira's Hatred, and Narrow-Minded. Very, very helpful because this gives us such a huge uptime on the elemental damage buff. Adaptation for some survivability, and then for range, we have Stretch, if I can find it. There you go, Stretch, and finally, Augur Reach. Where are these mods sometimes? There you go, that's it. Otherwise, if you feel like, oh no, I don't have much cooldown reduction, you could swap Augur Reach off for Swift Bite, because yeah. And now onto the Stompy's build. Let's have a look at that. Make sure you have melee influence, of course. Stance literally doesn't matter because you're slamming. And you may have noticed, hey, why aren't you running Seismic Slam? Well, if you didn't know, Seismic Slam and all the other slam mods are additive to base damage. And we already have a lot of base damage coming from Arcane Fury, Prime Pressure Points, and the Nira mods on the Warframe. So it was just better off to add Corrupt Charge for that combo multiplier. So now we have a 3x combo multiplier. Make sure you have your elemental damage here for corrosive. This is very good on direct hits and helps you destroy everything that has armor. Crit chance, crit damage, and you may have noticed it's also heavy attack wind-up speed with more base damage. Again, as you can see, that's why Seismic Slam isn't needed, and you have more wind-up speed. And don't forget your faction damage multiplier. The primary and secondary do not matter unless you're going to be building up combo for a big heavy swing, then sure. And with the consistency, and as you may notice, I don't have Prime Surefooted, the best mod in the game, so that's why I'm using the Doriga here to help spawn more orbs. What type of orbs? Health orbs. And that's why you need to have Arc Coil and Synth Deconstruct with Synth Fiber. This is all you need. Otherwise, the energy stuff doesn't matter on Lavos. You can actually drop these two for anything else. Literally, more shield regen and health regen with Mediray and Shield Charger. But otherwise, make sure you have Arc Coil, Guardian, Synth Deconstruct, and Synth Fiber. You don't even have to max Synth Fiber. Synth Deconstruct will help drop more health orbs, and when you pick up health orbs with Synth Fiber, it triggers Lavos' passive, so you can have that status immunity. And the weapon is Hellstrom. Since I'm running Nourish, I went for Magnetic and Heat, because Nourish also applies to your companion because it's an ally. So now the Doriga will be dealing Viral, Magnetic, Electric, and Heat. Very useful. And this is the new crazy fun Lavos setup. And I just realized this is my second Lavos video, all because of the new augment. Well, that does change up quite a lot of things. Hopefully you guys enjoy the Sampotes and smash the living daylights out of those acolytes and enemies, because it's so damn fun just to destroy them. Anyway, folks, that has been it for me. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now.